I listened to this book around 6 months ago, and it took me from thinking that the reason why a guy ghosted me was purely because of my physical appearance and me showing feelings too fast, to owning who I am and to expressing myself in a way that feels good to me, and if it's my feelings, then it's okay to express them. The book is That's Bold of You by Case Kenny. Someone random online recommended me this book when I wrote a post on LinkedIn about jealousy, I think it was. And I can't remember who recommended it, but thank you so much because it absolutely changed my life. This book managed to rewire the beliefs that I had about myself when it came to dating, when it came to not feeling good enough in social situations, not feeling confident in public, in the gym, in walking outside, in wearing certain things. It managed to rewire how I think and how I show up confidently. And I wish I discovered this book when I was younger and when I was second guessing every single thing that I did, and the only thing that I cared about was the opinion of other people. We're going to talk about the 5 things that have stuck with me since listening to this book, that have truly changed the way that I show up for myself, the way that I show up for others, and have totally changed my attitude towards dating and towards friendships. You know when an author just makes you feel so seen and it's like they're calling you out? That is exactly how I felt when I was listening to this book. I was like, wow, it's the timing. It's usually the timing when you see a video or when you listen to a book and they say some sentences and you're like, whoa, that is exactly what I'm going through. And that's what happened to me when I read this book, so that's why it was really a life-changing book. Let's talk about being hot and the 2 areas that Case Kenny talks about when it comes to being hot. And being hot basically means being attractive to someone. I didn't realize when I was younger that in order to be hot, you had to act hot. The hotness is more about your body language, the way that you talk, the way that you look at people, the way that you tell stories. It's way more about that than it is to do with how you do your hair, how you do your makeup, the clothes that you wear. But hotness is more of an attitude, and Case Kenny expands on how hotness comes from your mind and your soul. Your mind is hot in the way that you think, the opinions you have about things. That makes you hot. And your soul is the way you connect with others, the questions you ask, the way you make others feel, your charm, your compassion. And these are all things that you can actively work on. For example, if you're having a conversation with someone, how can you increase the charisma and the charm that you have? Simply by waiting a few seconds once somebody asks you a question. Somebody can ask you a question and you can wait a few seconds just to reflect on your answer and show that you are confident, that there is no rush, because the faster that you speak and the more chaotic you are, that can come across as nervous. It can also come across as excitement. But if we want to be seen as confident, there are small tweaks we can do in the way that we communicate with other people so that they can see us as confident and as hot, because confidence and hotness are very much the same thing. Because if you ask people, if you ask your friends, what do you find attractive? It's almost always going to come back to confidence. So being hot comes from your mind and your soul, and it is not so much to do with your body. The only way that hotness relates to your body is when you feel good in your body, you can move better, you show up with yourself, and then you show up with more confidence because you like the way that your body looks. That's how the physical comes into hotness and confidence. It's purely because you are going to feel better in your physical body, but we can't rely on wanting to look a certain way to hotness, because hotness is subjective. Everyone finds different things in different people and different like attributes, and everyone finds different things hot. So if you're thinking that you're going to be hot once you have a big bum or once you have a small waist, then there's always going to be people who don't find that hot. So I wouldn't rely on the physical. You're only too much for the people who aren't enough for you. Let me say that again. You're only too much for the people who aren't enough for you. There are so many times when we feel like, was I too loud? Was I too much? Was I being too quiet? It's always too. But then remember that you're only too much for the people who aren't enough for you, because your people are going to be attracted to you no matter how you are, no matter how much you talk about your passion, no matter how quiet you are in social situations. They are still going to like you, they are still going to resonate you because they are your people. If you want to improve yourself, then of course you can do that. But if you are constantly stressing that you are too much for someone, then remember that they are not your people. And this also relates to something that Case Kenny talks about a lot, is being the person who cares and not worrying about caring too much. Because especially when it comes to dating and when it comes to friendships as well, it's always like, how much should I show this person that I want to see them? How much should I show them that I care about them, that I want to know how their day was? Show them how much you want to show them. And if it's too much for them, then they're not the person for you. And this is something that me and my friends have the conversation around all the time. You can never say the wrong thing to the right person, because if it's the right person, they're going to take it and they're going to resonate with it. Of course, there's certain speeds that we can go at, especially when it comes to dating. We might not want to be too much too fast. But if you want to ask someone if they want to see you again, if they want to go on a date with you, just ask. And this book gave me permission to just ask, because at the time when I was listening to this book, I was ghosted by someone and I was like, ouch. But I reached out and I was like, hey, I'd like to see you again. And I was ghosted. But I'm so glad that I reached out, because if I didn't, I would have constantly had the question in the back of my head of, will I see them again? Do they want to see me again? Should I reach out? Should I reach out? Taking up all of that mental space instead of just asking and saying, hey, do you want to see each other again? Do you want to do this? It's better to just ask and just be too much and see how that is received. Because the universe rewards people who are willing to try. The universe rewards people who take the risk and put themselves out there. Because you learn from that, you learn lessons from that, and more opportunities and more growth comes from that. I love this one thing that Case Kenny says in the book as well. If it's on the menu, why can't it happen? Maybe the next sale call will be the big one. Maybe this week will be life-changing. Maybe this YouTube video will change everything. Because if it's on the menu, why can't it happen? And everything is on the menu. No, everything you can pretty much dream of coming true is on the menu because somebody has already done it. And I love this. If it's on the menu, why can't it happen? If you want to make a certain amount of money, it's on the menu. If you want to get with a certain kind of guy, it's on the menu. So why can't it happen? Doing the opposite. For 30 days, try doing the opposite of what you would normally do. This not only gives you new experiences, but it also makes your life feel like it's lasting longer. There have been multiple studies to say that when you have more variety in your day-to-day life, so when you take a different route to a certain place, for example, so when you take a different route to when you're usually going to school or when you're usually going to a friend's house, when you take a different route and experience a different thing on the way, it makes your life last longer and it gives you new experiences. Doing the opposite of what you would usually do. Also saying yes when you would say no. Saying no when you would say yes. Try this for 30 days or try this for 1 week or just try this for today. And I know that whenever I usually do this, I usually have very positive experiences and I go through a lot of growth, and I'm very, very grateful that I did that. For example, yesterday I went to the gym with someone who I didn't really want to go to the gym with someone. I would have preferred to go on my own, but I thought, you know what? This is going to be a new experience for me. I'm going to a different gym that I normally go to, and I'm going with a completely new person that I've never trained with before. And it was so much fun, and that gave me some more variety in my life. It also gives me something to talk about. It also gives me a new experience. I also tried a new exercise, and these small new things have a huge impact on how you feel about your life, on how you grow. And just having a few newer, smaller experiences in life is never a bad thing. So set yourself a little challenge today or for the next week. Do the opposite of what you would normally do. Today, for example, I'm going to a Pilates event. I don't do Pilates. And honestly, I would rather just go to the gym where I feel comfortable. No, okay, I'm going to go to the gym, my normal gym, so cozy for me. But no, today I'm going to a Pilates event with a bunch of people that I don't know. I have one friend going, which is good, but I'm going with a bunch of people that I don't know, because I can go to the gym tomorrow. I can go to the gym the next day. I can go to the gym every damn day. But you know what? A Pilates event doesn't happen all the time, and I want the variation in my life. I want the experiences. I want the things to talk about. If you're also worried about not being an interesting person, being a boring person, first of all, you are an interesting person. But second of all, having new small experiences is the quickest way to make you a more interesting person. The misogi mindset. I remember listening to this in a car with my family and everyone was asleep, and then he was talking about misogi mindset, and I was like on my phone like, oh my god, yes, this is such a good technique. So what is the misogi mindset? The misogi mindset is rooted in an ancient Japanese purification ritual called misogi, which involves spiritual cleansing, often through encounters with nature, typically by immersing yourself in cold water. Over time, the concept of misogi has been adapted and broadened to signify a mental and physical discipline aimed at personal growth and self-improvement and self-purification. And it's basically been turned into a yearly challenge that you set yourself that is a big challenge. Over a year ago, I completed a Vipassana, which is a 10-day meditation challenge. It was by far the hardest thing that I have ever done. And that was like a yearly challenge that I set myself. And when you set yourself a yearly big challenge, you are just proving to yourself again that you can do hard things. And this is what misogi is all about. And I was reflecting on this and thinking, honestly, what has been my big challenge this year? And I'm not 100% sure that I had one. I had some small challenges, and especially when it comes to fitness, I had being able to do a pull-up, learning to do a handstand, things like that. But setting yourself a big yearly challenge that you can work towards, that you really have to push and work towards, like running a marathon, for example, and then completing that does so much for your self-confidence. It's proving to yourself that you can do hard things. And I think in today's society, we all need that proof and that validation that we can actually do things that are hard. We can actually challenge ourselves. Doing one thing that challenges you a little bit to redefine what's possible. Something that Case Kenny says is, if it scares you, you have to try it. And I absolutely love this, because next time you are feeling scared or resistance to doing something, try to check in with yourself and think, is this a sign to do it? Instead of seeing it as a sign not to do it, see it as a sign to do it and see what comes from that. Shedding societal labels. Society loves to put labels on us. Society loves to put us into categories. We love to put ourselves into categories, you know, when it comes to astrology, human design, personality tests. I love it too. I love to have a label on myself. But shedding those labels allows you to be free and to do the things that you want to do, even if it's a little bit crazy, like texting the guy, like wearing the dress, like doing things that people see when they think Frida wouldn't do that. Frida wouldn't wear that. Wear it and see what happens. If someone says to you, but you couldn't start that business, you wouldn't start that YouTube channel, you wouldn't start a TikTok account like that, try it. Start it and see what happens. Shed those societal norms, those expectations, and go for what is in your heart. This is a key message throughout the entire book. It's going for what you want. It's being bold. It's being out there. But most importantly, it's being you. If you're not bold and you're not out there, then that's fine. But if you want to text the person, if you want to apply for that job, if you actually want to go for a walk, do that, because you can do that. And some ways that you can shed societal norms are by stopping apologizing, cutting out unnecessary apologies for being yourself. Celebrate your individuality instead of conforming to expectations of normal, because what even is normal? We all have these timelines in our minds that we have been conditioned to follow from our parents, from our friends, from society. You know, you have to have this amount of income at this age, you have to have kids at this age, you have to buy this at this age. Shed those timelines and expectations. Live how you want to live. Create your own timelines. If it works for you, if it makes sense to you, create your own and redefine what progress and success looks like for you. It could be a big house and a nice car. It could be working from anywhere in the world and living on a beach. What is success to you? Like, what is it? What does it look like? What does a successful life look to you? Is it a big family? Is it no kids? Reject societal labels. Being too sensitive, being too independent, being too loud. Recognize that these don't define you. Other people's opinions of you don't define you. But the only opinion that should define you is the opinion that you have on yourself. This should be the one that you put above everyone else. It doesn't mean that you can't take others' opinions, but it means that the one you value the most is the one that you have on yourself. I'm going to end this video with a few of my favorite quotes and mantras from the book because I love quotes. They help me to like shape a reality and think differently. So here are some of my favorites from the book. There's no right way to live your life, but there is a wrong way, and that's thinking there is a right way. You're only too much for the people who aren't enough for you. As much as I want to avoid being hurt in life, I want to avoid regret more. Instead of asking, what do I want in life? Ask yourself, what do I not want to regret? And here are some new mantras that I also love that he mentions in the book. Some of my life's best days haven't happened yet. A bad day doesn't erase the progress that I have made. I love this because when you have a bad day, you think like everything is going downhill, but then you're like, wait, it doesn't erase any progress, it's just one bad day. I am proud of how much I have changed. I am no longer scared of asking for more. I hope these quotes and I hope these mantras helped you to be you and be bold and embrace who you damn are. And if you haven't already listened or read the book, I definitely recommend it. But I hope that this video gave you lots of takeaways and ways that you can hone in on you and be you, because I promise you, the more that you are you, the easier life will get, the easier you will get what you want, the easier you will attract the people that you want in your life, and yeah, way more fun life will be and way less pressure. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you aren't already subscribed, then hit the subscribe button and you can download my freebie, which is things that are normal that are actually hindering your growth and making you unhealthy, because I want you to be the best, healthiest version of you. And society is not supporting young people right now, so that is my goal with this channel. Have a beautiful day, week, month, life. See you in the next video. Bye!